What's up guys, welcome back to CineClub. As you probably already know, I'm Maria, and this is a show where I watch new movies in theaters and review them for you. And the movie I saw this week, actually the movie I saw just 2 hours ago, was A Million Ways to Die in the West. Directed, written, starring Seth Macfarlane. You know that guy, right? The guy who created Family Guy, the guy who's Peter, Brian, Stewie, the guy who created American Dad, and the best cartoon character ever to be created, Roger. This is Seth MacFarlane's second live-action movie, and it's the first movie he shows up acting. So the movie takes place in Arizona in 1882. So Seth MacFarlane plays a farmer called Albert Stark, and he's not exactly the bravest guy in town. He doesn't really fit in either. On top of that, his girlfriend decides to break up with him. Things are looking bad for him when suddenly this mysterious woman shows up in town, and she decides that she's gonna help him become a little bit braver and actually challenge Neil Patrick Harris to a duel so he can get the love of his life back. I gotta tell you, I know a lot of people didn't actually like this movie, and it's kind of been getting really bad feedback, but if I'm being completely honest, I really liked it. I really laughed consistently throughout the whole movie. It's definitely Seth MacFarlane's humor, so you know it's gonna be silly, you know it's gonna have a lot of references, and you know there's gonna be a lot of inappropriate jokes at some point that are gonna be like, oh, you shouldn't have said that, but that was funny. And if you like that and you know him well, I think you will enjoy it. The story in itself is nothing out of this world. I think what makes this movie funny, in fact, is the great cast. Everybody in this movie was hilarious. Liam Neeson, we know he's always fun to watch. He's always very cool and very slick. I loved him. Neil Patrick Harris was one of the funniest people in this movie. You also got Sarah Silverman, and she's a prostitute of town, and she's dating the sweetest guy who happens to be a virgin, but she doesn't want to have sex with him because that would be wrong in the eyes of God. I thought that whole relationship was really funny. Also, there's a ton of great cameos in this movie. I can't tell you who they are, but they are constant and they are very funny, and they're kind of unexpected at some points, and some you do expect. But I think that added a lot of humor and a lot of color to the movie as well. But most of all, I think what really works in this movie is the chemistry between Charlize Theron and Seth Macfarlane. She has like razor sharp humor in this movie. I love how they complement each other, and most of the movie is pretty much just them hanging out and laughing. And together they just mesh well. I really liked it, and I think that's the main reason why I enjoyed this movie. The story is good enough. However, I do feel the main point, as the title suggests, is how everything can be terribly wrong in the Wild Wild West. And in the beginning, Seth MacFarlane does this little speech of how they will live in the worst time possible and in the worst place possible, and everything could kill you, even the things you don't think could kill you will kill you. And that was a good setup, and that was interesting, but after a while they just keep showing it to you and trying to prove a point, and it just gets to the point where you just say, look man, I get it. And I think in the end that's one of the reasons sometimes Seth MacFarlane tanks instead of doing very well in a movie. He makes a point or he does a very good joke, but then he just keeps prolonging it, and it just keeps happening and happening. And there's a moment where the laughter stops, and I think that's where he fails sometimes. And it does happen in this movie, but I also feel like that constantly happens with him in Family Guy, and I think it happened for me in Ted as well sometimes. So I think that would be my biggest critique of the movie, and also, the story just didn't seem to know where it was going. Sometimes it just seemed to be worrying about one thing, and then it happened to be about another thing, and in the end, it just didn't work out the way you would have wanted it to. I feel like you watch this movie for the jokes, and the jokes are really, really excellent. I think it's really quick most of the time, and then you got that sort of, you know, childish humor, and you got the fart jokes and the dick jokes, and it all combines pretty well together. I didn't feel like it was stupid humor all the time, although the movie is a little bit stupid. But you know what I mean. You don't go thinking this is going to be the greatest movie of the year or the greatest comedy of the year. I wanted to see this movie because I enjoy Seth MacFarlane's humor, and I knew I was going to laugh my ass off. And that was the result. I had a great time, I thought it was funny, I thought it was silly, and that was exactly what I was looking for. Also, I was really interested to see how Seth MacFarlane would act, and I thought he was actually excellent. He's very funny, he's got great physical humor, he's very quick and witty. I think he's hilarious. I have a little crush on Seth MacFarlane. Can you tell? I'm sure you can tell by now. There's something about A Million Ways to Die in the West that feels very much like Family Guy. The structure of it in general has those moments. It just reminded me so much of the style of Family Guy. There was one really funny mustache song at one point, and it just feels like that sudden moment where they start singing in Family Guy. It's got those voices, it's got that rhythm. And Seth Macfarlane pretty much is Brian all the time. Like, I can't see Seth Macfarlane and not think of Brian. He's a little too smart for his own good. He kind of judges people and he kind of makes fun of people, and he just brings out like these situations. He's a little sweeter and kinder in this movie. I will have to say that. He's not so much of a douchebag. But overall, he is a little bit of a prick, but he's just lovable. I think he did a great job in this movie acting and directing. It's the kind of movie that, you know, it's for him. It's his own craft. He does what he wants to do. I don't think he's particularly looking for anything. The people who will get it, and then the ones who don't, well, he just doesn't seem to care. So as you probably can tell by now, my opinion is not the most objective opinion of them all. But if I had to rate this movie for you, I would tell you it's definitely worth watching. I would say maybe rent on DVD. I'm not gonna say watch in theaters because maybe you don't want to waste your money, but I totally love watching it in theaters. I went with my brothers, we had a great time, we laughed louder than a lot of people, and it was a little bit embarrassing. But yeah, it's just fun, silly time for sure. I still feel like I would want to watch this movie again. I think I enjoyed it enough to watch it a couple of more times. Maybe even buy it, who knows? I feel like maybe by the 5th time I watch it, I'm gonna say like, okay, I've seen enough of this movie, let's just get on with it. If you don't like Seth Macfarlane, Family Guy, or any of that kind of silly, inappropriate humor, this is not the movie that's gonna make you a fan. If you are a fan, I do think you will enjoy it. But guys, that's just my opinion. Tell me, what did you think about A Million Ways to Die in the West? If you haven't seen it, tell me, what is your general opinion about Seth Macfarlane? Whatever your answer is, just comment down below and let me know. But guys, that's everything for this episode of CineClub. I hope you enjoyed watching this review as much as I've enjoyed talking to you about it. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You know that is always appreciated. And if you really like this video, go ahead and share it with somebody else. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more weekly reviews. I got a new video every week for you. And don't forget to find me on all the social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, Pinterest. Seriously, I'm everywhere. So don't forget to look me up. I'll leave all the information down below and at the end of the video as well. But that's everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you on our next movie date. Angelina Jolie in this movie, for a lack of a better word, is magnificent. She has such a presence and authority every time she's on screen. She was funny, she was witty, she was cool and collected and powerful. I think she played the role perfectly.